Hello friends and welcome back to Joyful Half Acre. Today I'm teaching these two boys how to can. Now this is not something I expect them to actually learn and be able to do after today, but I want them to have an appreciation of how it's done so that in the future as they get older, I mean he's 14, he would be able to do it here in a couple of years by himself. Technically, he could probably do it now, but I'm an over-paranoid mom and probably wouldn't let him. I want him to be able to, in a couple of years, be able to know the basics and do it. And I want Bryce here to just...
Oh, it's overflowing.
Oh! I just made a little bit of a mess. I think we've all done that while canning, right? Gotta mess up a little bit every time, or at least maybe that's just me. I always mess up. So anyway, I'm gonna show these two what not to do and what to do in canning. Today we are canning Aronia berry jelly and some juice, just juice for use in other things. And my kids love this jelly. And we ran out here a while back, so they are excited to get some more. Aronia berries, I'm gonna talk more about that at the end of this video. They are a super fruit. If you do the research, they are actually in some areas better than elderberries. So we'll talk about that a little later. So let's get started and I'll show you what we've done already. And then I'm gonna teach these guys how to can this. Poured my berries in my pot and then I covered them just to the top with water. I let them boil and then smashed them up with my potato masher, which is a really good thing to use for this. I got my canner started while the berries were boiling. Then after they boiled a couple minutes, we strained the juice out through a sieve, and you have to not only put them through it, then you push down on it to get all the good juice out of it. And these berries I got from my freezer. I already had them. They have been in there for a year or so, but they still look great and taste great, so just wanted to get them used up. And I just love the bright red color of these berries. They're so pretty. You do want to be careful that you don't stain things. I had to use a magic eraser on my counter after I was done. Then we put the juice into two different pans, one for my jelly and one that I will use for just juice. And the leftover pulp is so great for chickens. Gives them a good immune boost also. Then I added the Sure gel to the juice that I'm making the jelly into jelly, and add the sugar and stir it in. These are the lids. We put them in hot water so that the seals can like soften up a little bit, I think is why. The jars we've got in the sink over here, filled with hot water, and what that does is keeps them hot so that when we put this hot liquid in it, if you put a hot liquid in a cold jar, it would shatter, right? You can't put hot into cold or it shatters. So we have hot water in these jars so that it stays hot, so we can put the hot liquid in it and then put it in the hot canner. Okay, so you want to keep everything hot.
So the other way you pour it. You go on that.
Yes. All right. What you do is you're supposed to have a funnel here, and I lost our funnel. Then you ladle it. Yeah, this is gonna make a huge mess. I don't know where our little funnel went. I'm gonna have to buy a new one because it's pretty important for canning. I have a plastic one, but I don't think that would work very well. So you ladle it into the jars.
It looks like it's because she's holding it over.
And we are using quart jars because Well, my kids love this jelly and they go through it quick enough that I don't have to worry about jelly jars, because once they open one of these, it's gone pretty quick. But if you are a smaller family, you would want to use a jelly jar, which is half of this. This is a quart. Half of this, it's called a jelly jar. It's a 1 cup. All right, then you take this, you wipe off the lid with a dry rag. Wipe it off with a dry rag. Put the lid on. Twist this on. And you gotta be very careful because this is very hot. And it's just fingertip tight. You don't want to turn it on too tight. And then we're gonna put this in the canner here in a minute as soon as it's hot enough. It has to be boiling. And it's not quite there, almost. And like I say, this is not a full tutorial on how to can. This is just I want my kids to know a little bit of basics for their future. As they get older, I'll make sure they know exactly how to do it then. All right, we're gonna finish the rest of these and we'll get them in the canner. So while I'm waiting for this canner to boil, a watched pot never boils. Well, I'm bad about that. I'm always like, hurry up, hurry up. Not very patient for this, but so while we're waiting for this, I thought I would talk to you about the elderberry. It is not the elderberry. Thought I'd talk to you about the Aronia. So while we're waiting for this, I thought I'd talk to you about the Aronia berry. It's another name for it is the chokeberry also. It is very tart. It is not a sweet berry at all, but it is also very healthy for you. I've looked up online and the vitamin, mineral, all that numbers are a little bit higher than the elderberry even. And I know everybody talks about the elderberry being so healthy for you, and it is, but this one's even better. Although it's kind of hard when it is so tart that you wouldn't really want to eat it plain. I have made, like I say, this into jelly. And my kids love it. I figure they're getting a little bit of the good. Yes, I know they're getting sugar and that's not good for them, but a little bit won't kill them. And I've also made this jar, 1 jar of just syrup. I thought maybe I might try adding that into smoothies. I'm gonna try it and see if the flavors of the other fruits and stuff will help mask the tartness of this. So we're gonna try that, give a little superfood boost to our smoothies and make it even healthier. So we're gonna try that. I had started cleaning out my deep freeze before this whole virus thing started a couple weeks ago. I was going to eat up the stuff in my freezer, kids screaming, and use up all that old stuff, which is still a good thing. I'm still trying to do that, but I've also made sure I haven't used up everything. I want to make sure I'm still stocked, but this was just something at the bottom of the freezer I wanted to get used so I don't forget about it. And I am glad to give my kids a little immune boost, which is always good. So if you've never heard of the Aronia berry, I encourage you to look up different berries and what grows in your area. Like I say, this grows in my area. I know I can get some around here, and I got these for free. Nothing better than that. So check around in your area. What berries are growing? Are they a really good and healthy berry? Just make sure you always research before you just eat them. But we can all use a little immune boost right now. Always, but especially right now. Okay, eventually a watched pot does boil. It just seems to take longer. I know it doesn't really, but it seems that way. It is finally ready to put the canning jars in. And we've got the lifter. What we do, boys, is you lift it up and you stick it in. And I've got my rack in there. And you put them in there carefully. Yeah, that water would be hot, so I guess I better be careful and not burn the kid. This is why I don't have my younger 2 in here. because they are way too young to be around boiling water and boiling liquids. And now we're gonna boil them for however long the piece of paper says. Okay, I'm just using the recipe off Sure Gel. It does not have, off the package, it doesn't have the actual Aronia berries on here, but it has other berries, so I'm just kind of going with it. Processed jellies, 5 minutes. So one thing I did want to say also, as I'm teaching my kids things in this little series on trying to teach them life skills while they're all home right now, I don't know everything, obviously. Obviously, I don't know a whole lot, but that's okay. I'm teaching them everything I know, and then I encourage them to seek out more knowledge. I want to give them a basis so that they can build off of that and learn from other people and other people on YouTube and other people in real life. And just, I want them to be able to find books and read them and read up on subjects that they want to know more about. I'm just trying to give them a basic knowledge. Sometimes it's really basic too, because there's a lot of the things I'm teaching them I don't know much about, but that's okay. You work with what you have and then you build on that knowledge, and that's what I want them to know, and hopefully all of you know that also, to just start with what you know and just keep learning. We all need to keep learning throughout all of life. I know I learn something new every day, it seems. Some of you may be able to relate to this. I learn about 5th grade math every day I homeschool. Right now, a lot of you are probably learning the same thing, that, oh, I don't remember this. So even things I don't want to learn about, I learn about on a daily basis. So just keep learning, and that's what I want to instill in them. Keep learning and keep growing and just keep expanding that knowledge. There's just so much to learn in this world, and I want to know as much as I can, and I hope they feel that way too. So, all right, they're all done. Time to get them out. They boiled for 5 minutes. All we do, boys, is you lift them up with this, and you set them on a towel, and then you don't touch them for 24 hours. They have to stay there so that they can set up and cool, and you don't want to disturb them for a while. And I'm already hearing pings. Oh, there's another one. It's always good. It's very rewarding. Do you guys know what the pings are?
Nope.
That is the lids sealing down. Now they know the basics, very basics of canning. Just, you want hot stuff, put in hot jars, and there's different processing times for different things, and if you can follow a recipe, you can follow a canning recipe, because we've got canning books, which are always a good thing to have. So thanks for watching today, friends. I hope maybe you will try some canning today too. I mean, we're all home. We might as well do some, right? So I hope you'll like, subscribe, and continue to join us in this joy-filled life. Thanks. Bye.